Hello again there, Lab Rats. This is Lloyd coming back with another episode of our Lab Rats series. Today we're going to be talking about painting. In this case, applying a prime coat to our 3D model. The steps that we need to go through to ensure that it comes out okay, and things that we can do to help mitigate any issues we might find along the way. However, this does not cover all painting. The second part that we're going to do is going to be the full-on color scheme. So we're going to do a little bit more detail. But in order for that to happen, I have to wait for my material to come in, and shipping is currently a nightmare right now. So we're going to try and get to that one next week. So for this week, we're going to go over sanding, primer, and filling if we need to. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to start by removing the support structure, as well as the base that were printed along with the object, which you saw in the last video. For this, we're going to use two tools to help us remove the hard-to-get-off pieces of plastic. First is going to be a simple needle nose plier. Small size is usually best for those hard-to-get-into spaces. As well as a pair of calipers, which will help us remove any hard-to-get-off pieces of plastic that may be stuck to the model. Now I'm going to grab the Dremel. With this, I'm going to start removing any of the burring that was caused from those supports that were really hard to remove. The calipers can only get rid of so much, so by grinding down with a very fine grit head, I can remove a lot of the bumps that would be there that hand sanding would take forever to do. Now let's prep for paint. I'm using a 1000 grit sandpaper and the wet sanding method in order to reduce dust. This very fine grit sandpaper allows me to remove tiny bits and make a little bit of perforation within the material itself so that the paint can adhere better. Alright, let's get to priming. So here I'm using a flat gray primer just to make the details stand out a little bit better after I get a coat down. I'm going to do 2 coats here, and usually you would want to try and maybe support this. If you could hang it, it would probably be best, but I have done a very simple one side coat, dry, second side coat, dry. It's a little bit slower, but it still gets the job done. Make sure to be careful when painting indoors. Always do so in a very well ventilated room. Also, it's best to set up something that you can paint upon. I've put together a very simple paint box with some leftover cardboard boxes and some recycled paper. As you can see with the final piece here, we can see a lot of the ridge lines from the print, as well as some holes that have started to appear as we sanded into the bottom of the material after using the Dremel. This sort of stuff can be filled in with things like body filler. Alright, Lab Rats, that's going to be it for us this week. Next week, we're going to come back with our final paint. That's going to be our fine details as well as the basic coloration that's going to be going on with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, and we'll catch you again next week.